Well, it's a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence at the state capitol. There is normally very little turnover there, but this year there are 8 new lawmakers from the capital region. As they get close to wrapping up their first year in office, I take a look at their spending. They are all lacking in seniority, of course, but they do still have some money to spend. I've got the numbers because you paid for it. They may be brand new, but in the eyes of the Senate, they are leaders. Before their boxes were even unpacked, Senators Kathy Marchone, Cecilia Kachik, and Terry Gibson were receiving Lulus, or leadership stipends. Every member of the 62-person Senate is entitled to one, although a handful refuse them. Marchone gets $12,500 as a committee chair, Kachik $9,000, and Gibson $9,000 as ranking members of committees.
My district is 5 counties long. I am constantly in the car. I've put on 20,000 miles on my car since May, and I get no travel reimbursement. So that money helps me get out to the district and do my job.
On the Assembly side, the 4 new Democrats, John McDonald, Pat Fahey, Phil Steck, and Angelo Santa Barbara, do not get stipends. Republican Dan Steck gets $9,000 as a ranker on a committee. All 8 new members are, of course, given office expenses. Gibson tops the local rookies with $107,000 for his office expenses, followed closely by Marchone at $102,000. These numbers are for their first 3 months in office, January through March. Dan Steck of Queensbury tops the Assembly list at $57,700. It goes all the way down to John McDonald at just $37,400.
We work and live within our means. If we don't need to spend the money, don't spend the money.
McDonald and Fahey have saved by not opening a second district office, even though they're entitled to. Fahey did not even repaint her legislative office.
It was a good paint job, might have picked slightly different colors, but I couldn't see going through that expense either.
All the rookie lawmakers tell me they pay for some of their own supplies.
We don't spend a lot of money in my office. I mean, even the coffee, we buy it ourselves. The coffee machine, we buy it ourselves. There's really not a lot of expensive extravagances going on. The furniture's from the 1970s. It looks like something out of Mad Men.
As for legislative mailings, good government groups have been critical of those that have a lot of photos in them that look like campaign material, photos of the politician rubbing shoulders with other higher-ranking politicians. Pat Fahey's first mailer, while it did contain news you can use, was also chock full of photos of her, 11 of them in the center spread.
Yes, it had a lot of photos in it, but it also had tremendous substance. In fact, if you compare that to others, it had huge substance.
And in checking all the Assembly financial records through September, Angelo Santa Barbara spent the least in postage, $11,600. Phil Steck topped the list at just over $30,000. Now, only one of the rookie lawmakers has put in for per diems. Most can't because they live too close to the Capitol to be eligible. Dan Steck lives in Queensbury, and he is putting in for per diems and travel expenses. I've got pages and pages of his records right here. $6,300 so far. I tried to talk to Mr. Steck, but got no response from his office to my request for an interview. We will, of course, follow up on that soon.